I am Carly, and I'm here today to do another manga review. Today I'm going to be talking about a horror book called Ibitsu. And this book, let's see, I think this book is pretty new. I think it came out last year. So it came out in July 2018. It is from Yen Press, which I've had a few of their books recently that I talked about and I really enjoyed. And the author is HARUTO RYO. So the cover of this obviously drew me in straight away. It's so incredibly creepy. And this book is about, this whole book is one complete story. So it's one complete volume. It's not a continuing series or anything like that. This book is about an urban legend of a girl dressed in Lolita gear, like her little Lolita outfit, which if you're familiar with Lolita culture in Japan is very popular. So she's a Lolita and she sits in garbage drops. And if a man passes by, she'll ask him, will you have a little sister? And the legend has it that no matter whether he answers yes or no, depending on how he interprets that really strange phrasing, he will die a horrible and sudden death. So that is the urban legend that the story is based on. And the entire story is about one young man's experience with this particular ghost. She attaches herself to young men because she is a little sister looking for a big brother. If you're familiar with the term Oni-chan, that's what little sisters call their big brothers in Japan. So she's searching for her Oni, and this is a weird book. While I really appreciated them including the urban legend, telling the story about like where this creepy girl came from, there's a lot of great backstory and history. It's just such a strange concept for a book. The sitting in the garbage dump, while that is explained in the story, in the beginning, it's so strange and weird, and it feels like kind of just stay away from the garbage drop, I guess. Like, just don't go to the garbage drop in the middle of the night. But so the genesis of the story, the beginning of the book, it was like really sort of hard for me to like get into. But a lot of Japanese horror stories have really strange origins and sort of trajectory and different things that draw people in, so to the horror, the scares. So I kept reading, and I'll tell you, the artwork in this book is absolutely gorgeous. Here's some of the high gloss pages in the beginning. I love the artwork. And let's see if I can find a creepy page. Yeah, so the artwork is really cool. You can see. Even if the story is lacking a little bit. And as a horror fan, I can say that we horror fans tend to be a lot more forgiving of a story that maybe is falling apart in some areas or crumbles a little bit from time to time. This story does that. It's a bit strange, to tell you the truth, but every attempt is made to flesh it out. And it isn't that the writing is bad. It's just that the story itself is so strange that it's kind of hard to like get into at first. That said, the scares in this book are actually pretty real. Like, this book really creeped me out. And despite the fact that you can't really tell throughout the story, this is one of the main flaws of the story, I think, is that you can't tell if the Lolita is a real person or if this is a supernatural haunting story. And that is a huge element. So much more would be easy to buy into if we knew for a fact that it was supernatural, but we don't. We don't know necessarily throughout the book if this is a living person who is mentally unstable and is just like out to find her Oni, or if this is a supernatural revenge tale. Hey Charles, the book is called Ibitsu. So that made it really difficult throughout. And there is an attempt to tie up those loose ends at the end of the story, but by the time that happens, it already is something where I just sort of accepted, like, well, I guess we're never going to know, and move on. And so when they did sort of attempt to answer those questions and, sort of round out that part of the story. It was at a point where it didn't really affect my ability to enjoy it one way or the other, and it didn't help me to understand things more clearly. So that sort of didn't really end up making a difference. And I feel that if we knew straight off the bat from the beginning, which I think it would be really easy to do with the artwork, if this character, Ramina is what they call her sometimes, is a ghost or a real person, it would really make a difference. Although the scares are genuine and really good throughout, it would help us to sort of like buy into what's happening, because you sort of just have to accept that, like, well, she's gonna get him and that, and you don't really understand why. So as far as storytelling, the storytelling broke down for me in a lot of different ways, but as far as horror, just like straight horror, the artwork and the creepiness of the story were genuine. They really freaked me out, and I really enjoyed that. So I actually, for a horror book, if you go in as a horror fan knowing that these stories are sometimes a little bit fishy in spots, but looking to be genuinely creeped out, I would give this probably a 3 out of 5, which I think is a really good rating. It was an easy read. I read it in an afternoon. I reread it one more time today before this review to sort of like hone in on my thoughts. So it's an easy read. It's a beautiful volume and a really nice addition to your bookshelf. The artwork is stunning. And I definitely think if you're a horror fan, this one is worth picking up. Although I will say it is not necessarily the best storytelling. It is a really good, solid horror book all around. So that is my review for today, Ibitsu, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you read this book. If you do and you like it, tell me what you liked. If you don't like it, tell me what you didn't like. And if you have recommendations of horror books that you think I should check out, please let me know. I am a huge horror fan, and I'm always looking for good horror books, especially in the manga and comic genres or mediums. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get this video uploaded to my YouTube channel. Please make sure to go there and like and comment. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate a subscribe. And I will have another video coming tomorrow on an independent comic that I'm looking at. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back with you guys again tomorrow. Have a good day, friends. Bye.